Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of XA Talk Show. And let's see, let me go to the trending stuff. Video watcher. Stupid YouTube. Okay, let's try this. Full head. Okay, today we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna answer some of the questions people ask me in comments, and we're gonna do a little bit Emacs demo. Uh, you know, Meanwhile answering questions, various things. And we're gonna talk about keyboard key mapping Vim efficiency we did yesterday, and possibly we're gonna do some JavaScript to fix up to make it pretty. So, but let me first prepare. I'm preparing my screen to see the comments. So it'll be what's new, settings, other features. YouTube keeps changing their interface. Like Google keeps changing their interface in the past 10 years, more than 10 years. Let's see, live stream, live events, live stream now. Um, yep. So Google changed their user interface like every month for the past 10 years. So everything changes all the time. Okay, looks like okay, I'm live. Okay, good. I'm kind of late. I'm like 10 minutes late. So let me answer the questions then. Okay, so Xa Talk Show, and let me talk about. Okay, so David Capello, one of my friend, who mentioned this editor. So there's a new editor, Kakune. Okay, so there's another word. That's a Japanese word, I think. Kakune code editor. So it says it's modal editor, faster as in less keystrokes, multiple selections, orthogonal design. Okay, interesting. So there's a new editor in town. So who wrote it? Multiple selections, I don't really care. Text editing tools, several tools, advanced text manipulating primitives. Learn about Cocoon philosophy. So who created it? And what is the context? What is the situation? I always wanted to know about these things because these information give you the background. I always check the background almost everything I see. For example, when you go to a news website on Twitter or whatever social network, Reddit, people post websites, especially mainstream news websites. I never read them. I don't click them. Well, I have to like spend 30 minutes. I have to know who wrote, who is the organization who created that website, who runs it, things like that. Then possibly I will visit that site, because that's good information. Because today it's like info war, like information. People just everyone, especially powerful big organizations with money, they spread false information all over, so easily because nobody checks. Do you actually have time? Every day, like every day there are tens of news about all the anger or injustice or whatever. You don't have time to check them. Make um, you know um, if you really want to check an incident, at least it takes like 30 minutes or an hour. And those time you cannot just spend by just hopping around news website because they are almost all the same. They are just false information. You have to actually spend the time to check who wrote the article. Yeah, and look up check up the history of that person. What kind of articles he wrote before. Are there controversies? What's his background? Where he came from? Where where do you came from? And also find out the organization, the website. When did it begin? What organization runs it? Things like that. For example, there are many crackpot code organizations. Falun Gong is one of them. Okay, they have like tens of websites, international in all languages. And in fact, it's becoming popular in the last few years. They are against China. I mean, China. There are many bad things in China, right? Especially to Americans. Okay, I'm not gonna go into that, but this organization like constantly spew out fake news. Just like New York Times. New York Times is one of the worst fake news website. They churn out fake news every day, day after day. It's actually a powerful propaganda machine since the past few years. Let's say 3 or 5 years. Good morning, Green Deck. So Green Deck, you are in Russia, so I suppose you don't know much about American politics, right? So, do you know much about it, like the social justice scan, the things they do? Um, so anyway, so back to the topic. There's this editor, Kakune. Kakune. I suppose that's a Japanese word. Is that right? You know the Americans idiocy. They have especially among programmers, they have always have obsession of using like foreign Japanese words. Let's see what it is. Let's see kakune if that means something. K-A-K. Okay. Let's search for that word. Good morning, Dion. Good morning, Green Deck. Yeah, not much, but social justice warrior. I know, of course. Okay. Yeah. So kakune, is that a Japanese word or what? Okay, maybe not. Let's see. Let me adjust the windows so that it's not hidden behind other things. Uh, s- Hold on a second. Sorry about that. So that okay, that's good. So I don't know what the word kakune came from, but anyway, kakune. So it's a new editor, but who wrote it? That would be interesting to know who wrote it and what is his issue. Why does he write this editor? I don't know. I have to find out. So anyway, here is a new editor. So it began apparently since 2012. Okay, a new editor. So check it out. So Kakune and also someone asked me, on my YouTube channel, someone asked me a question um, about let's not go that anyway. So it's in one of the comments. He asked a question about this command. Let me start. So first of all, let me start the command log mod so you can see all the commands I call in Emacs on the left window. And I was using this editor. So for example, I was using this command xah-find-text let's say editor. Let's say xah-find-replace-text. Let's replace emacs by Haskell. Okay, and in this directory or HTML files, write change to file. Yes, fixed case. Oh wait, I don't want write change to file. So let's start over. So search for emacs replaced by Haskell in this directory or HTML files. Write change to files. No, and fixed case in replacement. So you see this command, this is my package that allows me to find all occurrences, and replace them. So it does the replacement all in one shot and highlight, make a report, and you can just go to, it highlights them, and you can just press enter, go and jump to that page. For example, this, the word emacs occur here. So the question is, can you do it interactively? And the answer is no, because it's not interactive by design. Because I do find and replace on about 5,000 files almost every other day. Like 3 times a week for the past 15 years. Because I run static websites. So when you have static websites, you do not have footer and header templates. So whenever you want to change header or footer such as, for example, here you see, you see this XAD, copyright 1995 to 2019. That's a footer. So it's the same text on every file. And when you want to change the footer, for example, 2019, you have to change thousands of files. So I do find and replace almost every day for the past over 10 years. So I have explored all possible ways to do find and replace, and eventually I wrote this command that's the most efficient. There in Emacs there are so many ways to do find and replace. Let's show you. So I'm going to do a demo of that. Let's go to Emacs. Okay. So let's go to my Emacs blog, my Emacs tutorial. So if you go to practical Emacs, you'll see find replace. Let's see. Find file, file topic, copy paste topic, Unicode topic, font topic. There is a file topic, buffer topic, Emacs find replace, okay, topic. So here are a comprehensive tutorial about all the ways to highlight a text, search a text, or find and replace. And it may be all files in a buffer or the current buffer, So it covers all these things. So what we want to do is find and replace. Let's see, find replace in a directory. So here is a tutorial that shows you how to find and replace in a directory. Let me check the comments. Monet is a word, but Google doesn't realize that, maybe. Okay, so find replace in a directory. Let me show you a demo then of this Emacs technique of find replace text in a directory and interactively. Now, first of all, let me say, yeah, so I have used this method, for several years, but eventually it's not as useful. I mean, if you have to do find replace on over 5,000 files every day, then this way is actually not efficient, because once you do, when you do this interactive find replace, it's kind of annoying. Like you have to check every occurrence. Suppose there are 100 files changed, so you have to go through 100, occurrences to make sure they are correct. I mean, of course, this is interactive, but you can press a key and tell it to do all replacement. But still, it's very tiresome to even just look at a few examples to make sure that's what you want. First of all, you have to do that. You have to go through, check examples. Then they leave the files unsaved. All the buffers, let's say 100 files has been, let's say 1000 files are changed. So you have 1000 buffers open. Then you have to save all the 1000 buffers. Of course, there's a very convenient way. You just press like 4 keys, save changed files. So you press 4 keys, literally, uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 keys. If we count shift key as one key, so you press 6 keys to save all 1000 buffers. But then you also have to, yeah. So you have to do that. So when you have to do this multiple times a day, sometimes I do more than one find replace on 1000 files a day. Sometimes actually a few times per hour. So it gets tiresome. It's not efficient. So instead, what you want is one-shot operation. You specify this find replace. You want to do it one shot on 10,000 files in a directory. But the question is, sometimes you are not sure that's the right pattern, especially if it's a regular expression, right? So what you do is that you do it one shot without saving to file. Then my command, okay, for example, the command I just called, let's repeat it, okay. You see, this command makes a report on all the possible changes and context and the file they are associated in. The pink is the file name. So you look at this file and you can make sure, yeah, that's a pattern, that's a correct pattern, and all these occurrences I want to change. Then you just call the command. Let's see, for example, I'm just going to do it again. You see, so the list code is this, and all I have to do is change the neo to t, the neo to t, and the neo to t here. Then you'll just save, you'll just do this operation again and save all the files. So that is why this is more efficient. So by the way, so this command is called xah-find-replace-text, and it's in the package xah-find-el. Okay, so and here's the source code, and you can go to the website, and it's all written in emacs Lisp. So it's on Mailpass, so go use it. So but for situations where you actually want interactivity, because sometimes you are not sure. Sometimes like the patterns is not consistent across files. So for some files you want to change, for some files you do not want to change, and there's no mechanical way to distinguish the two situations. The only way is to by eyeball, human eyeball. So when that happens, then you want to use the emacs way, of find replace text in a directory. And actually the command is called um, here here dired-do-find-replace-regexp. Okay, so let me demonstrate an example of how to use that. So let's okay, first of all, let's go to ergo emacs. Let's go to, first of all, I want to make not here. Okay, so let's go to XAR talk show. Okay, so go to the XARly info directory, and first of all, I want to make a git commit and git status. Okay, it's clean. So so we can do a backup. I mean, we can do a revert once we demonstrate this, because we are going to do some find and replace. So let's go to dired buffer. So here is our files. Let's say we want to do find replace. So first of all, mark the files you want. Okay, let's say all these files. Or if you want to do the whole thing to a directory, then you just go to the directory and put cursor on the directory. Then when there's no mark, it will do find replace on the file or directory your cursor is at. So for example, if you want to do the whole directory, just put a cursor on the directory. Now, if you want to actually only do find replace on some specific files, then you have to mark. For example, let's say I mark this one, or you can use a regular expression to mark it. For example, all HTML files. Okay, so let's just say I want to do it in this directory. Okay, so I don't mark anything. Now you press the key Q. Okay, Q is for dired-do-find-replace and dired-do-find-regexp-and-replace. That's the command name. Key binding is capital Q in dired. Okay, let's do that. Now it says query replace in marked files. Yes, and you need to give a regular expression. So in this case, let's say emacs. Okay. Then you need to give a replacement pattern. Let's say Haskell. Okay. Wait, it's actually running or what? Or is Emacs stuck? Oh, Emacs is stuck. That's odd. Cancel. Yeah, Emacs stuck for some reason. Why is that? That's strange. Let's try again. So let's just mark these files. So mark these mark these files and press capital Q, and do that. Okay, it works. But why is it not working before? So let's close that. Let's try it again. Q, do it. Okay, I think I know why. Cancel. Q. Yeah, it's annoying. Emacs. I think Emacs behavior changed. In Emacs 26. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why. You see, before, if you want to find replace on a whole directory, basically when you press Q, okay, which calls the command dired-do-find-regexp-and-replace. That's a long name. So when you call that command, before Emacs 26, I think it will basically try to do find replace on all marked files. And if there's no marked files, it will try to do find replace on wherever the cursor is. So if the cursor is on a directory name, then it will do that directory. So that's how you do a directory. But right now it seems that if there's no marked files, then it will simply do the current directory instead of the wherever the cursor is. So let's try it again to see if that's the case. So I press Q, I press enter. No matches for Emacs. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, it's stuck again. It's taking a long time. So anyways, let's just try to do the marked files. We have to figure out whether something actually changed. We have to figure it out. Greendeck says, how do you cancel a command when emacs stuck? Control G. Control G is that's the way. Control G. It may not be successful. I mean, Control G is the general way to whenever Emacs throws, you can press Control G. It is also used to cancel key sequences, but however, it does not always work depending on how exactly Emacs is stuck. When Emacs is running a command that's taking a long time, such as find replace, or search or text in files, it's actually running a process. When Emacs is running a process from a command, from an Emacs command, it will periodically check for Control G, so it should work. But sometimes it may take you a few seconds for it to react. But however, sometimes it does not work. For example, especially when you have like remote file access, things like that. And of course, when Emacs actually froze, like there's a bug, it won't work. So anyway, just press Control G is the oh, Emacs gets stuck for you at least once a day. Yeah, sometimes changing window size unsticks it. There's a bug with Emacs 26. Like sometimes the whole screen becomes blank for a second, like the whole buffer. I noticed. But anyway, let's try to finish this. I don't know what's going on, so but we can figure it out. Usually, like let's try it. Okay, so I mark. So this time I mark this directory, and let's capital Q. Let's press capital Q and enter. Now that's wrong because it shouldn't take this long, because in that talkshow directory there are only 10 files. So I don't know what it is doing now. I mean, is it trying to search the whole current directory, which is xali info? Because xali info has literally like 20,000 files. So it stuck. So let's cancel. Control G, Control G, 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 G. Okay. So marking doesn't work. So let's go here. Okay, now let's try Control capital Q again. Okay, so right now the behavior is actually just trying to find replace on this particular file. Basically, it's where the cursor is. Okay, so let's close it, close it. Let's try this again. Capital Q, enter. Yeah, it's just doing one file. Now let's try it again. Let's try mark and see. I mark these files. Capital Q, enter. Wait. Oh yeah, okay. It's doing several files. You can see the green lines here. That's one file. That's another file. So if you have files marked in dired, it will search those files. But what we want is to try on a directory. So let's go up a directory. So let's just leave the cursor here and press press Q, enter. And definitely that's wrong. We can wait for a while to see what it actually comes up, then we'll know what directory exactly it's working on. So okay, so let's wait for a while. So what else is new? So Kazaa Talk Show. Okay, so let's go back to Kazaa Talk Show. So yesterday we did the arrow keys efficiency. Let's go to it. Yesterday we did that. Let's open Safari. Actually, no, let's not open Safari. Let's just open here. So you can so this page is computing the arrow key efficiency of Vim's HJKL versus the inverted T IJKL. And we coded this yesterday, and it's looking spectacular now. you see, uh, you see, it interactively computes the key frequency. You can the interactively computes the efficiency of the key binding, the Vim key binding versus the inverted T key binding. Okay, the emacs result came up. So let's see what it is trying to do. So Kazaa Talk Show, Kazaa Talk Show. Okay, so it is actually if you look at this window. Oops, what shit? I just closed it by mistake. So what here? So if you look at this window, so it is actually doing the right thing. It is just working on the Kazaa Talk Show directory. So when you don't have marked files, it will work on whichever your current cursor position is. If your cursor position is on a directory, then it will work on the directory. But I'm surprised it takes so long to come up. Is this because of Emacs 26? I'm not sure. So anyway, there you have it. How to work on a directory. But let's go through it, and let me show you what happens when you use that command. How do you actually change things? So for example, so let's mark these files. Okay. Now I press Control. Now I press Q, capital Q, and so replace the word Emacs by Haskell. Okay, Haskell. Okay, then it will pop up two buffers. One buffer is named XREF. Now the XREF buffer lists all occurrences of all files that it founds, that Emacs found. Then you have another buffer which just opens one of them. So for example, right now I can press yes to change it. I can press some key options. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, here's the result window. It shows like that. So you can press one of these keys. Y to replace the current occurrence. No to skip it. Control G to abort the whole thing, abort the entire operation. And you can press the exclamation key to replace all occurrences in current file. Okay. And you can press N, capital N, to skip further search of the current file, or you press capital Y to replace all files. Okay, so you have all these choices. So let's say, so I see one occurrences, I say no. Okay, so I press N. No. Wait. Uh, ah, Wait. So let's go here. Tab. What? What's going on? I know what I think I know what is happening because I have xah-fly keys. So it kind of uh okay, it works now. Um yeah, because it didn't work because I exited. So let's try it again. So I mark these files. Let's mark all HTML files. So I press capital Q and replace emacs by Haskell. Yes. Then okay. Then I can press yes or no to Y to change, no, N to skip. So skip, 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 skip. So let's say I want to change over here. So I press Y, change. So and another one, let's say Y, change. Let's say N, 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 Y, 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 Y. Okay. Okay, let's say I'm done. I've done. So I want to. So I press capital N to skip all possible replacements for the rest of the files. So let's press capital N. Actually, let's press Control G to abort the whole thing. Now let's go to now if you go to iBuffer, you will see that you see all those files that you've changed, which is this one, and you see there's an asterisk there. That means those files are changed. You can open it. You can see we made a change here, and go to iBuffer again. Oh, I already saved it. Too bad. So another one here. You can see we also changed somewhere here. Here you can see we made a change here, Haskell. So if we okay, it's here. So these two files. So now, and you can imagine there are like thousands of them, thousands of files changed. And now, if you want to save all of them, you can just go to iBuffer, then press star U. That will mark all files that are not saved. Okay. Now you press capital S to save them all. Then you press capital D to close them all. So it asks me, really kill two buffers? Yes. Okay. So that's how you do it. So you can do this for thousands of files, and imagine you have thousands of changes. So Emacs will have thousands of buffers open and unsaved, and you can do this operation on all of them. So I've been using this method for like for 5 years or 4 years or something. Sometimes I use I've been using this is one of the methods. I've been using for a few years, but eventually, uh, if you need to do find and replace for thousands of several times a day, for years, that's no good. You don't want interactivity. On the other hand, let me show you the xah-find example. First of all, let's revert the changes we've just done. So let's go to e-shell, git. Okay, what's the command for revert? So let's go to git git tutorial, revert changes, git right, check out. so, so git check out xah talk what? Oh wait, xah talk show. What? Oh, talk show. Okay, talk. Okay, let's do that, and let's go back to talk show, and let's search for Haskell. Okay, so actually, but anyway, the file should be reverted back. Let's see. Git status. Yeah, clean. That's good. So now I'm going to demonstrate xah-find. So I call the command xah-find-replace. Let's say emacs replaced by Haskell. Enter. And directory, this directory, correct? File path rejects HTML. Write changes to file, no. Fixed case, yes. Fixed case in replacement, yes. So you see, I got this report. So I can look at it, I can quickly look at all of them, all the places. And if I decided I want to make the change, I call this command, which is emacs repeat complex command, and it will actually show the emacs Lisp code. You can see at the bottom. Then all I have to do is change it. Let's copy it. New buffer, paste it here. Here's the command. Now I can just change that to T and T. Okay, so that means I want to write to file, and also make a backup. You can call describe function on this command. So for example, describe function, and here's it'll tell you what the arguments are. So anyway, so I am now ready to run this command. So I just run this command. It's actually done. So you see all this. So for example, I go to this place. You see the file is done. You see it says insert math Unicode emoji in Haskell. Actually, originally it should be in Emacs, right? So now it's all these changes has been done. Now if we go to eShell, git status, you see those are changed. Now I don't want the change, of course. So I go back, and also if you look at the directory, backup are made for you. They are backup made for you. So close it, go to eShell, git checkout talk show, revert them. Okay, so so that's an example. We just reverted all the changes. We don't need that anymore. You see, this is back to Emacs. That's correct. Close, 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 close. Okay, close all the talk show windows. So let's go to talk show. Okay, that's a demonstration of that. Find and replace. So we have demonstrated two ways to do it. One is the Emacs way, using the command called the command is called dired-do-find-replace-regexp. Okay, and we also demonstrate the other way, which is xah-find. Okay, now because I do find replace on thousands of files several times a day for more than 10 years, I have several other ways. I've, for example, let's say I want to let's say I want to let's see how many people are watching. Five. Let's say I want to, I have written Go script, Python script, Perl script that do find replace. Let's do an example. So let's go to Go find. Okay, find. So this is a script. So let me show you. So here's a directory that contains Golang script, Python script, Python 3, and Perl script for find file or find and replace file, and with or without regular expression. So you have many choices. So let's look at the Go script for find. Let's go back to xah show, copy the file path. So let's go back to the Golang script. Now the input directory will be that xah show, and let's say we want to find the word emacs. Okay, that's it. This script is like 150 lines. Okay, now let's run it. Okay, here's the result. Just like the xah-find emac list code, it creates a report. Now this report is not syntax colored, but we can syntax color it by calling the command xah-find output mod. Okay, so if we put it into that mod, then we will color it just like the xah-find report, because because I made sure the output format is the same. So you can press the arrow keys to move up down to occurrences, or you can press the up and down arrow keys to move to all the occurrences of files. So left right arrows is to move through the occurrences. So you can see, so these are all places that contains the word emacs. So if you press enter, you will go into that file. For example, let's go to here, enter. Oh, oops, enter. You see, it will jump to the position in the file. So this is a Golang script. Let's close that. Close. So this is a Golang script to do find and replace. And in fact, so why do I write the Golang script to do it? And why do I write a Python script? For example, here's a Perl script doing find and replace. It's written in, this one is written back in year 2000. And here is a Python 3 script for doing find and replace. Last updated 2019. Originally, it's written in 2006. So you have find and replace, and you also have just find. For example, this is a Python 3 script for find text. I separate find and find replace as separate scripts because they are distinct tasks. So sometimes you just want to search for some occurrences, like grep. Find is like grep, and other times you want to find and replace. Okay. Now, when you do find and replace, also there are two versions. For example, here you have a version for replace regex, which is a Go script for find and replace with regular expressions. Then I also have a Go script for find and replace without regular expressions, just plain text. Similarly, I have two versions in Python as well. So why do you separate them? because when you want to do simple find replace and without regular expression, uh, if you have a single script, it's usually annoying to escape, to do escapes in your find string, and it's also error prone. So it's simpler if you have a script that's not using regular expression when you just want to do find replace on plain text. So that's why I have two versions. So anyway, so there's another feature. Let me show you another feature. For example, this Golang script, you can see that sometimes when you do find and replace, sometimes you want to find certain files in a directory. For example, all files ending in HTML. And other times you want to find all files in a directory and subdirectories. But sometimes you want to do find and replace on a specific set of files that you have the file path. For example, so my find and replace script has that feature. You can specify, you can give a list of file paths, and it will work on only these files. So what are some examples? For example, let's go to JavaScript tutorial. Okay. Um, for example, I have my JavaScript. Let's see. Object reference. Okay. Let me find the example and let me show you. Okay. Well, hold on a second. So how am I doing? How are you guys doing? Is it interesting? If you have questions, comments, opinions, just post it. Okay, let me know how am I doing. Uh, but right now I'm trying to find an example where I need to pick out a specific list of files that I want to the find and replace to work on. Uh, okay, I found an example. You see, so here is my good morning, avocadoras. What do you think of deno? Yeah, let me talk about that in a second. Wait, you asked for math art, right? Algorithmic math art. I was waiting for you to come on. So, but today is kind of late. We should talk about that. You know, come on early and let me know. I'll talk about that topic. Algorithmic mathematical art. Yeah, that's a fascinating topic. But anyway, back to find replace. So look at this JavaScript object reference page. Now, if you go to any of the page, you can see. Let's say I go here. Wait, let's say I go here. Hold on a second. What's going on? Yeah, okay. So if you click on regular expression prototype, you see there is a navigation button on the upper left that says back to JavaScript object reference. Okay, this is correct. Now that should happen on all these pages, but however it's not, because for example, if you go to object.prototype, it says back to JavaScript in depth, which is incorrect. So what I want to do is so for all these files here on this page, for all these files, I need to change any occurrences of this back to JavaScript in depth to back to JavaScript reference, object reference. So let us do that. So first of all, I copy this file path, open the file in Emacs, show in browser. You can see that is a file. And now these are the files I want to change, to do find replace. So I hold on, let me show you. So this section, and then I call the command xah-html extract URL. So that means all the URL will be extracted. Open a new buffer, paste it. You see, these are the files I want to find replace. But however, I want a full path. So let's do it again. Select all, Control U, then call the command. So now I got open a new buffer, paste. You see, now I got the full paths for all the files I want. Okay, close that. Now I just go to my Golang replace script. Okay, now this is my Golang find and replace script. I paste the file names here. Now and delete the previous one. This is the one I used days ago. So delete that. Then I need to make them into the right syntax, which means each one must be a string and with a comma at the end. So I have a command, watch that. You see, that command is called xah quote lines. Okay, you can just search the name on the web. You'll find my code. You can use it. The code is here, xah quote lines. So anyway, so that is done. So I want to do find replace on all these files. And okay, so what is the find text? Okay, let's go to it. Let's see. So open the file. The find text will be this one, not this one. Okay, because that one is correct. Open this file. Back. Okay, this one. So this is the text I want. Copy, close. Okay, so the find text will be, you can see here, paste. That's my find string. And what is a replace string? Let's get a replace string. This is a replace string I want. JavaScript object reference, close. Okay, and now we put the replace string here. Okay, you can see we have the find string and we have the replace string. By the way, you can have multiple pairs. So you have multiple, if you have multiple pairs of find replace, you can repeat them. So it's nice to do them everything in one shot. So I got that. Find replace string is good. Now a list of path is good. Now write to file is true. That's good. Do backup is true. That's good. Now I can run the code. So let's run the code. You see, it makes a report. All these files are changed. I'm good to go. So now I'm go back to the browser. Click on object.prototype. You see, it's good. That works. Let's click on another one. It's good. Function prototype. It's good. Go to string. That's correct. So it's so this is convenient. So the feature. So why do I write this? So Golang. So I have several of these find replace scripts. In Emacs or using grep or using Emacs dired query find replace or using Golang or Python. I experiment because I have to do this multiple times every day. So I want to find the most efficient way because I do this every day. So right now, if I want to do find and replace on specific list of files, I cannot do it with the xah-find.el because xah-find.el does not let me, for example, specify which files, specify a list of files to work on. It just work on a directory with a regular expression to filter out, either file names or extensions or directory name. So actually, that is a feature I might add in the future. I might add to find xah-find. So, but anyway, right now I'm just using my Golang script. By the way, these are also on GitHub. Actually, it's on my website. You can see the URL is here. You can go to the URL showing in browser. Here's the code: Golang find replace script. By the way, you can also find my Python script, Python find replace in your directory. You can also find my Perl version. This is Perl version written in year 2000. Okay, so and there's also so there's a link you can use them. So Golang. So now we did the find. Let's go back to eShell. Okay. What is this? Close, 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 close. Find go close. Let's go to talk show, and go to eShell. Go up a directory. Let's see my git status. You see, so it actually changed about 7-10 files, so that's good. So right now I'm just going to xah-abbrev interactive abbrev rsync. So sync to my website. So that's good. So I think that concludes the talk on the find replace issue. I think so. I guess so. That's a full talk on the find replace issue. Why I do them, why I have so many versions of the script. So close that. Xah talk show. So what else? Okay, so there's a question. Let me answer the comments. So what do you think of deno? So Avocadoras told me there's this deno thing. So let's look it up. I checked it out. It's a it's in the JavaScript land. There are so many things every day, new things every day. The technology in the web dev is changing. Every month. So I didn't know about deno until Avocadoras told me. So deno is a secure runtime for JavaScript and TypeScript built with VA, Rust, and Tokio. Okay, Tokio. So it's a secure runtime for JavaScript and TypeScript. Oh, so is it just like nodejs? I mean, you can actually, for example, in Emacs, I can instead of nodejs, a file name to run the file, I can actually use deno to run it. By the way, Avocadoras, do you have do you know deno? Like, do you have experience, or you just asking me? So I didn't know about deno before, so it looks like if it is a replacement. I mean, if it can run as a node.js, then I would be interested, because in Emacs I'm running, for example, whenever I have, for example, let me show you. Okay, close that. New buffer. Type something. Save it as xx.js. So it's a JavaScript file, and console log. Let's say print 3. Okay, and I want to run it. uh, run it, it prints 3. So when I run it, I'm actually calling the command xah-run current file. You can see here, and this xah-run current file is a command I wrote. It allows me to run Python, PHP, Perl, Ruby, Golang, Haskell, and so on. Any script in the current buffer. I just press a key, it'll run. The way it works is that it calls a shell command. So for JavaScript, it actually calls the node. So if deno can work, I'll just use deno because I don't like the npm people. The npm leader, whoever created npm, that guy, I think he's a scumbag. Okay, he's a one of the uh, bad person. Okay, very very bad. He's a scumbag. Okay, he and another guy, also the guy who began Ruby on Rails. Okay, now I haven't looked into these two guys exactly. What they are. I haven't looked into, but from the some incidents I looked into in past years, I think they are very bad person. The guy who created Ruby on Rails. By the way, both of them are very popular. Because one began Ruby on Rails and one began npm. There's one thing in common to both of these people. They are they are assholes. Okay. Now, when people say someone is assholes, sometimes there's a positive connotation, meaning that they are capable and they are like a leadership. Like Steve Jobs has been called assholes. No, but no. Well, some people think I'm an asshole. Okay, but anyway, I think these two person. I think they are scumbags. Okay, they are arrogant and they are scumbags in lots of ways. Uh, so uh, so yeah. So I don't like npm but however the Ryan guy who created Node.js, he is a great guy. Okay, he is a great guy not just in person. I mean, he is a great guy in as in ethics, morality. Okay, I think he's a great person, but also as a programmer or a technologist, I also admire. I actually admire this guy, Ryan Dahl. His last name is Dahl or something. Anyway, he's a guy who created Node.js because he's a mathematician. Okay, he's a mathematician. He's a mathematician. He was doing postdoc on some esoteric math subject. Then he got bored and he started to do. He invented Node.js. Okay, and so he's extremely capable of he knows math, and he also is an extremely capable programmer. I actually admire this guy because, and also because I have read several of his articles in the past. His thinking, his philosophy, the way he thinks, the way he talks. I like him. A lot. So Node.js I liked a lot. Well, I don't actually necessarily like Node.js the product. He created that, but I do like him. Okay, his ideas and his philosophy, and in general, his whatever he likes will have influence on me. He likes JavaScript a lot for some reason, and he also likes TypeScript a lot. But anyway, the sad thing is that he gave up Node.js like five years ago. He gave it up. He passed on. He passed it on to the npm guy. npm, the guy who created npm, the scumbag. Okay, let me look up the name so I can get the name correctly. npm creator. So I want to be specific. So what's his name, by the way? These days, when since about 10 years ago, these hacker types, they try to, like, they do not mention their names in whatever they created. They like, as some kind of gesture of being humble, but actually they are like the scumbag, the worst scumbags you can see. This social justice scam, they always do things superficially, like on the surface. They hide, they hide. For example, I created xah keys. Okay, if you like it, good. If you don't like it, good. I stick my name there. Okay, if there's anything, the bug or whatever, if it caused a disaster, my name's there. Be responsible. Okay. Now, if it's so good, everyone loves it. Gives me money, made me rich. That's good. I stick my name to my whatever I say, my essays, my product. That I considered good. But since like 10 years ago, even before the social justice scam, this open source fox, including many in the emacs community, they do not. You look at their project page, GitHub or whatever, they do not put their name. Like they try, it's like implicit. Okay, nobody explicitly say why, but you can tell. They try, they do not associate them. Like they have this, they try to put out this gesture as if like, I'm trying to be humble. I don't want my name there. It's a open source project, everyone share. It's not, don't thank me. It's like everyone's thing. They do that since 10 years ago, since at least 2005. I think they are scumbags. This is how it became social justice today. They okay. For example, one of the guy who did this, that is the a lot of the Emacs Dave I don't really like. Okay, um, for example, one of the guy who always had argument with me, but he's a good guy. Okay, he's a good person. Is the Emacs wiki, the guy who created Emacs wiki. Okay, and he's on Mastodon. I see his posts now and then. Sometimes he follow me, and sometimes I follow him. Every like couple of years, sometimes we begin to follow each other. Just to see. Then after a few weeks, then unfollowed. He unfollowed me. I unfollowed him. Like, fuck, I don't agree with your ideas. Like these white people, especially this social justice guy. For some, they are always like white people. They are liars and scumbags. They lie so they get more power, and they lie, and they always shine like, oh, we are the good guys. I'm trying to do good. Because but ultimately the worst scumbags are them. Okay, the Emacs wiki, the guy who started Emacs wiki, he's a white person in Germany. Okay, by the way, I don't mind. He knows my opinions. Okay, we've been arguing about things since in 2005. So Emacs wiki, this guy, he doesn't really, let's see, suggestions, problems. You can find his name. If you really try to find this, who created the project, you'll find them. On the surface, they don't associate name, but however, you see, they do not truly. If you are truly a good person, let's say I'm a good, IZS, yeah, that's the guy who began the npm. Uh, sure. Okay, so let me show some. I'm gonna get back to the comment pretty soon. Okay, because I'm on this topic. This person, these people. Okay, they suppose I'm a good guy. Suppose I let's say I want to donate money. So let's say I have 10. Let's say just 1,000, not much. Okay, let's say I have 1,000. I want to donate to this nonprofit organization. Okay, what is the best way? If you are really humble, if you are really good, in the utmost sense, I go there, I donate anonymously. Okay, they don't even. It's impossible for them to find out I did it. Okay, I donate to, for example, Red Cross. Okay, I go there, donate money. That's good. But however, usually that's not how things work. When you donate, you almost like 99%. Okay, you always want your name to be there, because that is how you derive uh, pleasure, or you benefit from it. But anyway, so all these projects, they, on the surface, they try to hide, the fact that they are the creator of it. But actually, that's not true. Actually, they do not try to hide on their resume, on whatever. Whenever something there is money, they say I created it. Then they put out their name all the way. It's almost always like the case. Okay, and this guy, Emacs Wiki guy, what's his name? I need to get the. Okay, his nickname is uh Ken Kensa Kensara or something. Um let's find the change category. Let's search for Ken. Okay, yeah, you cannot even find the name. Fuck. These people try to find. Okay, Drew Adams. I know Drew Adams. Drew Adams is a very old Emacs hacker. Um, yeah, this guy, Alex Schroeder. Schroeder. he's a guy. He's a guy in Germany. Okay, he created Emacs Wiki. Back then, I told him, you should use, Emacs Wiki is written in Perl. It's one of his pet project. Okay, 4,000 lines of Perl. He refused to use the Wikipedia software. I told him, in order for Emacs Wiki to grow, to be general, to be all powerful, okay, to be benefit to all people, and full of information, you need to change the format so that it stops being a kind of a dialogue, like a chat, pages, like every page is full of, random chat. You want to make it like Wikipedia, like, each page is a specific topic and nothing but the content of the topic, information about Emacs, commands, Emacs list, or, each command, how do you change font, very focused, no chatty things. If you want to chat, then there's a separate page, corresponding to that page about, chatting about that page. I told him, this is the way to go, but he doesn't agree. But why he didn't? We argued a lot. If you search for Xali on Ergo Emacs page, Xali Emacs Wiki, you'll find my essays about this incident. So we argued a lot, but basically he doesn't want to use the Emacs, to use the Wikipedia, Wikimedia. It's called Wikimedia software, and he refused. He also refused to put onto rules that shapes the direction for Emacs Wiki to grow into like a encyclopedia kind of format. He refuses that. He rather prefer, his idea of the Emacs Wiki is that it should be like a commune, the fucking open source free software foundation commune. So his idea is like everyone is equal, and we can just go to any page, we can talk anything we want, we can chat. That's his idea of Emacs Wiki. So today on Emacs Wiki, you go to almost any topic. Okay, let's say how to appearances. What you go there, it's like a bunch of irrelevant information. People chatting about things and what are these? People chatting random things, and some chat is like 10 years old, and there's no date. So you got bunch of dialogues. You don't know. Sometimes this is 10 years old, sometimes this is yesterday, and random. It's just like random. So anyway, so that's a technical disagreement on how we see the direction for Emacs wiki. Okay, I think he's idiotic. Many of the open source people, that's why they can never build anything successful. Linux or Emacs, so many things sucks. Okay, I don't. I well, I like to say I kind of don't get them. These open source Unix philosophies idiots. They don't get it. They cannot think. But anyway, so this is our difference opinion on the direction of how Emacs wiki should go. Okay, he don't agree. But look at today, Emacs wiki has degenerated into no traffic. Basically, my website has like 10 times more traffic than Emacs wiki. So anyway, that's our difference between direction. But also, the reason why he doesn't want to change it, he doesn't want to use the Wikipedia software called Wiki Media or Media Wiki. Okay, it's written in PHP. He doesn't want to change because Emacs Wiki is written by his pet project, a single file Perl script of 4,000 lines. Back then, this is like 2004. Okay, I was also a Perl coder, so I wrote a Perl a bug database on the web. The whole thing is one single Perl file and also 4,000 lines, a bug database. But anyway, so it's Emacs Wiki. So yeah, so he want to stick with his Perl script. That's selfish. Okay. By the way, I don't think he's wrong to be selfish. I totally support, his desire to stick with his own software. That's perfect. However, what is not good is when this kind of people start to say, "Oh, I like to use my software, but meanwhile, I'm a very humble person. I'm nice. I'm for open source." That is when things go bad. Okay, now if you are such a guy that you say that I don't give a shit about you, okay, I just run Emacs wiki the way I want. Okay, Kasali, you have that opinion, you go create your own, you know explicit, say that, okay, I like this, let's run out, let's do our own things. uh that's totally fine. But these kind of people, they don't do that. They usually don't do that. On one hand, they want to be selfish. Okay, whenever name is credit is concerned, they want to be selfish. But on the other hand, when it comes to like public PR, like public uh, that like marketing, whenever there's money and things like that is concerned, they put out their name. So so the word is hypocrite. That is a proper word. Okay, now by the way, the Alex Schroeder guy, I don't think he's a bad person. Okay, I'm kind of, but he's kind of that type of people. Okay, but he's not, he's a good guy. Okay, he's a good guy, but we disagree. But however, what I'm saying is that he kind of represent this typical uh, open source, this typical kind of, a lot of that them are like that in Emacs dev community and open source in general, especially white people. I fucking hate these white people. They are scumbags, and today they become social justice warriors. It's these people fake. They fake. They do one thing for what themselves. They represent something else on the surface. But anyway, Alex Schroeder is not. I would don't don't uh, he I think he's good, okay, but but anyway, his mentality, I've seen his writings, seen his tweets and posts, he has this mentality every day. Is like, oh, help the world, help women, help minority, he is like that. So today, some of these extremes, there's a a minority of them becomes extremes, and they become the social justice gun, which blatantly lie, day and night. Uh, okay, so so back to back to so Emacs wiki. So npm package. So let's see where am I. Let's see how long I've been talking. 1 hour 25 minutes. Okay, that's about it. So let's read some comments. So Isaac Schroeder, yes, that's an npm guy, a scumbag. Okay. Uh, so let's see. So try deno rn. Okay. So you like deno avocadoras? You like deno, I guess. Console log high. Also source. Yeah. So let me finish this. The social justice people today is extremely very bad. Okay, they are like criminals. I mean, let me put it this way. Okay, in America, the white people among this, they talk about certain country, certain political party back, in 1940s in Germany. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. They keep talking about that every day, like day and night. This is somehow they have like, it's kind of idiotic. Okay, because if you survey, the if you survey the world history, the most people killed, that's not that country. That's not that group. Okay, there's quite a few more than others, more than that. Okay, but they don't know anything about that. Every day is like, these people NZ 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 every day. But actually, what happens is that today they are this group, they NZ social justice can. So you we need to do something about it. So if you are in Russia, or other countries, you may not know, or in Spain. I'm sorry, many of you guys are not in US, so you may not, this topic may not sound interesting to you, but it's pretty bad today, in white countries, in UK, in USA, uh, in Australia. It's actually, it seems worse in UK. UK is the worst. Then Australia, US is actually kind of still doing okay, but they are very bad. They are actually, it's so serious. I've been observing, for the past 2 years. I've been spending an hour studying the situation. US is falling apart. Western nations. I'm not a Christian, okay, but Christian is, you know, US is falling down. It's very likely. In fact, if according to Camille Paglia, who is an expert in history and cultural studies, she observed, she has videos, lectures, and so on. She has observed, in the history of humanity, there are no lack of empires. There are no lack of the greatest empires that rules the world. Okay, but however, they come and go. They don't last forever. They come and go. So you can observe when they fail, why they fail. Why this sometimes the most powerful nation, empire of the whole world, it's like impossible to fall. Like maybe like today's Google, for example. But however, they do fall. They, after a decade, 10 years or 20, they or maybe 100 years for empires, they go away. They went away. And you want to, so you observe, you can study them. Of course, a lot of historians study it. You can, different historians may have different conclusions, but you could, obviously, you can make observations and make your conclusion. So Camille Paglia observed, she says that many of these great countries, one thing happens is that when they begin to fall, is that when their arts became no more became elaborate, became like without shape, without form. It becomes like amorphous, without definite form. Well, actually, it's like it became gay. So there's no masculine, there's no more masculine beauty, very definite, strong, sharp, masculine beauty, or the feminine beauty, which is, has certain definite shape. But the society, when you observe these empires, their art, it becomes, wishy-washy, this or that, fluid, that kind of thing. That's her observation when empire falls. And if you look at USA, of course, it's similar things is happening now. So according to her, she says, this is a dangerous, this is a phenomenon when a great country is falling apart. It's about to end. Well, yeah, you can disagree or or not agree. It may not be true. Of course, after all, it's just an observation. Observation do not always come, true. We have to see what happens, and also maybe now that we are aware, we can start to change it. Stop that thing. But anyway, so that's what that's one observation. So, but if you look at USA, it's kind of like that. I'm looking at China. All the China, the technology growth, it's incredible. I don't see that in USA. Especially in the past 2 years. China. This, that, and you look at the photos of their cities. It's amazing. The skyscrapers. It's all new, and it's not just one city. There's like tens of cities, amazing skyscrapers, and with neon signs like all over the whole building. Like you don't see that in USA, not in New York, not in San Francisco. Like New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, all the major cities, they don't change. They haven't been changing, and there's no, anyway, lots of things. So what I'm saying is that I feel this US is kind of like, it's not growing. And of course, a lot economists, statisticians, you can study economy, and so in many all aspects, China is really growing. And US is, I think, maybe is the second now in economic growth or something like that, or activity or output, or GPD or something. But anyway, so that's bad. That's, if we don't, we don't know if this is true. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing for us Americans, and also in general, it's just, because you want to grow. You want to, doesn't matter what country you are, you want to, progress. When you see your country is, stagnate, it's not a good thing. So anyway, so US, I think, so there's this dangerous kind of situation in USA. um, And to me, okay, the social justice is one of the primary problem in our society. It's it is, I would say it's a primary problem, because once because social, it's not just the ideas about gay, or it's not just that, because they are tied to the Democrat Party, and heavily tied to corruption. And in fact, the whole academia, the universities, is crumbling down. Students do not learn anything there. And then you have the students, violence against teachers. Like, they don't respect teachers, they don't respect professors. When you have that situation, that's very bad. Your country is falling apart. USA, when students, or can threaten violence to professors. That's not. And the administrators are like kind of helping the students doing it. The professors, actually, and then also the college fee is exorbitant. So there's lots of things wrong, and then it ties to bribery, to political parties, to the politicians, to the how the government run. So it's a very bad situation. So I think we should, you should know, if if you are a U.S. citizen, you should know about this, and do something about that. Um, so I want to summarize, kind of, since I've been since I've been talking about this issue. So I just might, I want to um, kind of give my thought, because I mentioned, because this topic has been coming on to my talk show very often, because it's there. It's not like, as a programmer, even if you are just focused on tech, programming stuff, you cannot avoid it, because this social justice GAN, I mean, no mistake about calling them again. They actively, it's one of their goal to actively uh, encroach every field. They want to actually go into every. They want to touch everything. So, for example, in the programming community, then you have the feminism. Then they say, women is not, equally represented, because of this or that. Then they have, then they spread their code of conduct, which is a heinous crime. Okay, not a crime, but it's a heinous tactic. Um, it's extremely bad. It's because it is. Well, well, that's another topic. Okay, because when I talk about these things, I have to so many topics. Then I have to spend 10 minutes to discuss or describe that why it's bad. Anyway, so I just want to summarize. So this social justice scan, it's their actual goal to go to attack, to crumble down everything. They want to touch everything. So we have to fight it back. We have to. I think I'm not kind about these people. You have to wipe them out. If for example, like the French Revolution. Okay, the French Revolution. Now I don't know much about that, but I do know it's a revolution where there were kings and queens, who were supposedly very bad and rich and powerful, and they got thrown out and beheaded. Guillotine. I want guillotine to. I want. Okay, let me say. I want justice to happen to this social justice scan. Okay, I want it to happen. So I don't want to. I want social justice to happen to this to any of those people who are extremely bad. Uh, okay, so I think that's it. That's it for today. I guess that's it for today's topic. So any comments? Any final thoughts? So not afraid. So Danielle says, I'm not afraid of social justice people. I picture a few overeducated Mexican lesbians. maybe maybe I need to wake up. Yeah. So I don't know how it's hard to say. I think the what really is going to happen. It's really hard to say. Like on one hand, I mean, I look at what's happening. Every day. It's many things are really bad happening. Like for example, uh, people get fired because of the social justice doing things. Things happen every day, and also in among politicians. But on the other hand, maybe they say it's really just a minority, really a very small minority activists, who are doing these things. And on the other hand, we still have law. U.S. We still have U.S. law, and U.S. law is also is still working in most case. Well, in general, it's still working. So people have been suing, lawsuit of some of these social justice scam people, and it's ongoing. We don't know what will happen yet, so we don't know. Um, and Trump, Trump is the enemy of the social justice scam. I didn't care about Trump, but it looks like he is. So he is helping at least. He's at least helping to fight against the social justice, and also meanwhile also the social justice, the extreme left people, they created this chaos, because they have this uh, spurious theory about things. So internally, what happens eventually is that they create a chaos among themselves. Like today, the feminism is fighting the trans groups. Like when you have like whether trans should be in sports, what rules should there be. They cannot, they are starting to, they are actually not starting, but they are already fighting among the LGBTQ, whatever jargon they created. So on one hand you have feminism or women, then now there's this trans, which is making shouting things every day in politics. So and they don't agree, because women, trans, especially for men, male turned into women. So you are, you are physically you are still different. You can hurt females easily. So there's the issue, so they are fighting, and Twitter is banning people because of that, and so there's a lot of things going on. Um, so what will really happen, in 5 years? We don't. I think. I mean, I'm trying to figure it out, and I don't know. I cannot say whether we'll be. Maybe the social justice scan is just a fad. Just it'll pass. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure. I'm 100% sure it'll pass for sure. But the question is how long? I mean, it's different for if it's going to go away in 5 years, then if it's going to go away in 100 years. That's a very different picture. So anyway, so that's it for today. So thank you guys for watching. Uh, so yeah, let's see. Yep. Okay. Okay. See you guys later. See you. See you guys. Bye.